Hey, what's up? Yes, I know I have a fucked up hairdo. I'm not worried about it right now. This last solar flare was incredibly weird. The weather has been very strange for a couple days now. It's been like 2 days. And it's been like really windy and cold. Where it wasn't so cold just a couple days ago. Like changed everything. It was basically just super windy for like 2 days straight. And anyway, we've kind of been stuck in the car. It's still windy. And there's been like a lot of people up here. But I think that like I was dealing with a lot of like irritability and I don't know, it just kind of felt like I was disconnected for a while. And I think that's over. I think today's the 25th. So we have like a couple more days left in this month. And yeah, I don't know why I'm excited exactly, but I feel excited. I mean, I do feel excited to start working out again because I haven't really been exercising much at all. On and off. But like, I don't know, just everything kind of went out the window. Like, I really didn't know what was going on for a while. And generally when I feel that way, I just hang in there because things like reset themselves. I'm not really sure how to say that, but that's how it works. I mean, at least that's what I've noticed. It's like things just reset. So in those times when I feel really disconnected, or I feel and I mean disconnected from God, like literally I feel that way sometimes. And it's not that like God left, or or I somehow my intuition got turned off or some weird such thing like that. Excuse me. It's none of that. It never is. And I don't say God like in some anyway. I've explained that before. It's not a religious thing for me. Anyway, it's really important that I think that the aspect of faith is just as important as gratitude. It really is. Without, and I don't mean faith in a religious, I don't mean that at all. What I mean is like choosing to, say you're not religious in any way, shape, or form, or say you are not even like a mystical person, and you're just really like, scientific. Well, okay. Look at the evidence of it shows you've been breathing every day since the day you were born. And, you've obviously been fed and cared, at least cared enough for yourself, or cared about by other people, whichever that, in my universe, it's that I care about myself. But, the universe has always provided for you. So why would it stop today, kind of thing? That's the kind of faith that I'm talking about. Like sometimes, and there are a lot of people that don't believe in God. I personally think that that's silliness, but like, okay. Or don't believe in something bigger than them. And like I said, I personally believe that's silliness. However, I have a lot of empathy for that because not everybody has faith. I met a man not too long ago. An elderly gentleman, like quite a bit older than me. He's in his 80s, or I think he was 80. And he told me that his wife of 55 years had died. Now, this gentleman and I had other conversations. So when he told me this, it was really off the cuff. I didn't expect it. I don't think he expected it. And, most 80-year-old men will not listen to a 40-year-old or 40-some-odd-year-old woman. And certainly not about grief. right? And this person was distraught. I mean, I could tell. And also, you know, they didn't have anyone to go to with this stuff. I could tell that too. Because there's something about grief that is so all-encompassing that when you tell people how you feel, you know, you typically get one of two answers. You get, well, I'm sorry for your loss, or, you know, people just don't say anything at all. I mean, that's been my experience. People just basically not saying anything, or, you know, saying some stupid shit like, I mean, and I empathize greatly with people who don't know what to say, because I haven't always known what to say. But I think that there's a lot of work to be done in that whole, you know, empathy, compartment of most people. Like, I know it can be really difficult, but, like, you know, it's better to say the difficult things. In my experience, it's better to say them and to honor how you're feeling than it is to try to cover it up or try to pretend like it didn't happen, or like people do any number of things, excuse me, when it comes to grief. And I think that radical acceptance is difficult. I mean, obviously, because you just lost someone really important to you. You know, I mean, it doesn't even necessarily need to be like a person. You could have, like, you know, maybe your fucking job building, you know, the place where you work burnt down, or like, and you can't go there, you know, and that's a loss. I understand that. But like, really, when people lose someone, I mean, this person told me point blank they didn't feel like living anymore, and I thought, ouch, you know. I mean, I've been there. I felt that many times, and I didn't know where to go with that. And I think that a lot of people's response to that can be like, well, you need professional help, oh, you need this, you need that. And like, frankly, I couldn't say any of that to this man. I couldn't, because I know better. I know that this person is of an age where, you know, calling mental health care, you know, officials, or like, you know, it's not going to help anything. This person needs to talk to someone who's been through it, and been through it in the worst of ways too. And I told him what I knew. It was really all I could do. It feels kind of impotent sometimes. Like, it doesn't feel powerful to tell people just what you know and what you've been through. Sometimes it feels, like I said, it feels downright, you know, impotent. But you have to do what you can do for people. And, you know, that person, that gentleman, I remember he replied to me on his way back, and it was I think it was the last time I saw him, that, you know, he was reconsidering, you know, that he was going to at least consider what I said. And sometimes that's all you can get, you know, that's all you can do is consider what another person said. And, you know, I don't know what happened to that gentleman. I don't know where he is. I hope that he's well and very blessed. But one of the things that he said to me that was poignant, that stuck out to me, was he said that he envied my faith. And see, you can't give your faith to people. You can't do that. It doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. So you know, all you can do is give them your experience, and, you know, like, relate your experience to them and show them through example. And showing people through example, again, it can feel very impotent sometimes. It can feel very, like, lackluster, very, you know, like, did I do all that I could? And the fact of the matter is, yes, sometimes that's all you can do. And it's a lot more than most people give it credit for. So, you know, and there was another young man I helped. And, like, you have to understand, like, I do these things completely out of intuition. I don't, you know, I'm not looking for people to help. I'm not looking for, I mean, not necessarily, you know. But all the same, it happens. And you have to trust where you're being led, and you have to trust that, you know, you're going to say the right things. Because I think that that lack of trust is often what keeps us from acting upon the things that we know we should be doing. Excuse me. Excuse me. My mother used to say, you know, you never know how far the ripples that when you throw a pond in, a stone into a pond, you never know how far out those ripples are going to go. So make sure that it's a positive pebble, and, you know, try to make as many positive waves as you can. And like, that's basically the premise with which I go about every day, is because you don't always know what, you know, if you're doing anything, or, you know, you try, you do your best every day. At least I do. And when you see people that are hurting, maybe you can't speak directly to their wounds, you know, but like, you can do something else, you know. I saw a couple up here not too long ago, and the man seemed fine, but like the woman seemed fucked up. She seemed like she was hurting. Is really all I could say for sure. I don't know their names or anything. I don't think they gave me their names, but anyway, you know, I was walking my dog, and I felt like the woman needed healing, and I couldn't just walk up to her and be like, hey, I'm a healer, can I lay hands on you? You know, people think it's strange. And so what I did instead was I grabbed a couple of my crystals, and because I've been working with crystals most of my life, and I walked up to their truck, and handed one to him, and the one that I was, you know, guided to give him, and one to her. And the one I gave her was a rose quartz. It was a heart that I had, and I had this crystal for a long time, and but I give freely, and I gave him an Apache tear, which is great for grounding, and then I gave her the piece of, you know, the heart-shaped rose quartz. And, you know, I held her hand for as long as I could without, you know, seeming like a weirdo, but you know, and handed it to her, because that's what I could do in the moment. And I think it's just important that we do what we can in the moment. We can't always fix everything right away. You know, maybe we don't even know that we fixed anything at all, or that we could, you know, but it's important to believe in the magic of God, to believe in miraculous healings, instantaneous healings. It's important to believe in casting out demons. It's important to believe in these things, because without that, you know, we're very much like kind of cut off at the past. You know, we cut ourselves off. So by continuing to believe in the magic of things, believe in the beauty of the Lord's work, and the beauty of the Lord's blessings every day. And I know what I'm talking about. I mean, I know I like to use the umbrella term the Lord. I like to use the umbrella term God. I know that's not exactly what's going on, but like I like to use that. I really do. I like the structure of God and the Son and the Holy Spirit. I like that structure. It's a nice structure, and it works really well. So, but we're not always sure what we could be doing. You know, rather than overthink it, I think it's important to just do something, you know, even just pray for people, you know, and it's powerful. It is. It's powerful, and it works. And I encourage people to, you know, pray for themselves, pray for their families, pray for each other. It's a useful thing to do. It's a skill that gets sharper and stronger over time. So that's what I mean by faith. Like, you may be an atheist your entire life, and that may work for you. That may work really well for you. It might. But in those times when you're left with nothing and you're gutted and, you know, you're alone, there's got to be something. The human spirit needs something. And, you know, I would just you know, people to have a practice of faith over fear is exceptionally powerful and useful. You know, it's not a matter of religion or being credulous at all. Like, I would never want anybody to be credulous. It's one of the things that I've gotten away from in my life, is being credulous and just believing things because that's what I was told, or believing things because that's how I was raised, or believing things because blah, 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 insert whatever excuse there. And it's like, no, I genuinely have spent a lot of time and a lot of energy thinking about it, living it and proving it to myself again and again and again and again and again and again that this is actually what's happening. And so, you know, even if it feels maybe useless in the moment, or even if it feels kind of futile or whatever it is, you know, do those things for one another that you know are, like, you know, that are aligned with the light, that are aligned with the highest good. And you don't always get to see it right away. You don't always get to see it at all. However, throwing those positive pebbles into the pond is a good thing to do, and it's it's something that you will see come to fruition sooner or later. You will see it. So, you know, I encourage people to continue doing what they know is the right and good and useful thing for themselves and for people around them. And I know it's not easy. I know it's not. I know it's not easy. But it is worth it. It's totally worth it. You're worth it. So love, blessings, compassion, everyone. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Faith over fear works every time.